Hi, I'm going to talk to you now about a bracket that we sell on tvtrade.ie. It's an 18-inch H bracket, okay? And when we say it's 18-inch, that's the overall length of the bracket from here, okay? And where we would use this, we'd normally use it on the gable end of a house to mount an aerial, and in some cases a satellite dish, but normally an aerial. Now the advantages, the alternative to this would possibly be to mount an aerial on a chimney, but this can be this can be dangerous work, and often we say for insurance reasons, things like this, or lack of tools, people don't necessarily want to go up on the roof of their house, or they're afraid to mount something like a TV aerial on their chimney in case it causes structural damage, which by the way it rarely would, but a heavy dish might. But in any case, this type of a bracket here is a great design. Now the direct competitor to this bracket, and what we stocked solely on tvtrade.ie up to recently, was a thing called a T&K bracket. So how this would work, just basically, I'll show you the alternative product first, is you would mount two brackets on a wall. You'd mount this bracket here where you drill 3 holes and then use bolts to mount it on, and then put in a K bracket or T bracket underneath, and then what you do is you run a pole in between the two that would be held via U-bolts to mount an aerial on the end of a house, okay? Now the H bracket is preferable to that for a number of reasons. First of all, it's simpler, okay? In terms of price, it's roughly the same price as but it's simpler, it's a sturdier design, and it's definitely much easier to install, okay? So how would it work anyway? You'd simply come along to a wall, you'd hold the bracket up to the wall, make sure it's square, and then you take a drill and a guide hole using maybe a 10mm drill bit, mark the 4 holes, take it down, and then depending on what size of plug you're going to use, you'd use proper sized drill bit. So for instance, you could possibly use these type of coach screw and plugs, but I find they're quite light, and I'd be worried from a safety perspective on using something like this. You'd be better off using something like these Hilti bolts here, where you simply drill a 16mm hole, you push them in, you put the bracket on, and then you bolt them into position afterwards, okay? Now, so we come along anyway. What you'd use in conjunction with this then, you would come along and you would put in U-bolts then. So you can use either 37mm, which is 1.5 U-bolts like this, or 50mm, which is the equivalent of 2-inch here. So you can see either will fit on nicely, and you just put the 2 U-bolts here, and once you have this securely mounted on the wall, you pick up something like this aerial and a 6-foot pole, you drop it into the U-bolts, bolt the U-bolts into position, and then rotate it exactly to the direction you want this aerial to point, and then you do the final tightening on the U-bolts here, okay? Now, this is genuinely quite a good product in terms of design, innovation, and all the rest of it. It's easy to transport, and invariably what I find is if you're putting up 2 T and Ks, a T and a K bracket, you have to make 2 trips up the ladder, okay, and there's obviously safety implications from that there as well. So this is quite a good design, and in terms of actually other tools on TV Trade that you might want to buy in conjunction with this would be something like a socket set and a ratchet here for driving home the bolts if you're tightening them in. But this here is, becoming a very, very popular product on tvtrade.ie.